Welcome, everyone. If you guys want to go ahead and drop in the chat how you're feeling today, we are going to invite you guys, if you have any questions, to throw them in the chat, and we'll definitely get to them for you. Um, I guess we didn't really discuss if we were going to let people unmute themselves or not, because sometimes that gets a little wild. So for now, let's drop it in the chat if you guys have questions as we go, and I'll keep my eye on it. So yeah, drop in the comments. How are you guys feeling today? What's going on with you? How's the weather where you are? Because it's been wild here for this little fragile California girl with the lightning and the thunder. I'm like, oh, what is this, winter or something? Where did the 70-degree weather go last week?
I'm rebelling completely.
Snowing. Winter started, yes. Where are you guys from? You're dropping it in the
Can
comments.
you see when people talk? Can you see their
Mhm.
comments?
Yeah, so
Where are
go
those?
down. Heather's also getting a, a Zoom lesson. Put your little cursor down at the bottom and go to where the chat is, the chat thing, and then
Yeah,
click it, and you'll see all of
yeah.
the people talking. Pennsylvania, fun. Arizona, California.
Thanks
Heather,
for
your hair
letting
looks, Christy
me
says, Heather, your hair looks beautiful.
see that. That's
Oh,
hilarious.
man.
SoCal, yay, Montana. All right. So I always like to give the little stragglers a few minutes to hop on, so killing a little time with the
Thanks.
chat. Because sometimes I'm a straggler, so I try to hold space for those that straggle. Oh, Ohio.
Oh, that's a girl I went to high school with. Hi, Laura Durbin. Hilarious. Amazing.
Everyone. Canada. Heather, I love how rookie you are.
What a rookie I am.
Zoom rookie.
I am.
All right. Um, so thank you guys for coming. We were just talking about how it's like the hardest thing to figure out when the ideal time to do one of these is. And so we know that it is the middle of the week and the middle of the day. So you guys showing up is so great and wonderful because it makes it so much better when people are here live. Um, so I thought that we would just start off introducing ourselves. If anyone doesn't know one or all of us, then that would be a great way for you guys to start the call. So, Heather, do you want to start since you are the queen of the clinic?
Oh, because I'm the rookie. No, I'm the rookie. Um, so yeah, I'm Heather Kornemann now. I am from Ohio, actually. So it's just funny that I have someone from my old stomping grounds come on today. That's so cool. Oh gosh, who am I? I don't know. So I cowboy for a living. That's kind of my number one job and my number one life. Um, and then I've somehow gotten into taking what I know and trying to help. Well, first of all, I thought I what I needed to do was help horses, and then I realized the only way to help horses is to help people. So then you end up learning how to help people. Crazy, because I didn't really like them. But here we are, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm meeting amazing people from all over the world and constantly being inspired by amazing, strong women who are joining me in this. So yeah, I'm excited, and there's a lot more I could say, but that's I don't want to talk about me. Let's talk about you. Tell us about you, Amber and Catherine.
Catherine, you want to go?
Yeah, I can go. I really appreciate Heather's. I don't know who I am. Definitely in that space now. I'm sure related to the beginning of the fire horse, and really stepping into a different level of integration. But what I do for a living that I am incredibly passionate about, and it is something that I also do every day for myself, is human movement patterns and really shifting into changing how we look at our body, how our body moves, disentangling the language related to exercise from all the crap we were conditioned, especially as women, to believe about our bodies and to believe about exercise. So In addition to that, I am also an equestrian coach and instructor, and I work with the Balance Through Movement method. And I teach for riders specifically a modality called rider pillars, which is how to break down our movements in the planes of motion and how our horses typically respond to them in the saddle.
That was so good and thorough. Well, you've done that. You have done that before.
Sounds like you've
All the
said that.
time.
She practiced. Uh, I am Amber, and what do I do? I've been a horse trainer for a long time now, like over 25 years, and same thing. I didn't love the people actually, but I realize now after, several years of doing the work with the people, it's just because I didn't actually ever know how to connect with people. I was never taught. It was always like lived in a household where like the animals were where I got my connection and where I was seen and heard and safe. And so it wasn't that I didn't like people, I just didn't know that they were available for connection. And so same thing, I would work the horses and then I would hand them back and it was like everything would sort of fall apart and it just felt like I was doing the same thing over and over, and I started to feel like I wasn't really helping the horses or the people. So, through my own stuff, my own life crumbling, I stumbled upon this entire world of like, oh, healing, and wait a minute. And I think 2018 was the first time I ever realized that a nervous system was a thing, which seems a little insane. Um, that I don't know how I trained horses for so long and didn't really have any kind of grasp of their body, their how they felt. Like it's just like I think I did an okay job because none of them were ever a total mess after, but I think it just lends the grace for people to be wherever they are on their journey because I'm like I did this for so long and I just figured this out like less than 10 years ago. Um and so then I just really dove into the people side of it and the stories that we tell ourselves and how they affect the relationships that we have and our bodies and our horses' bodies and us. And so I love diving into that side. I like dealing with the like internal brace that people have that they don't know they have when it's just coming from these stories that you don't even know are going on and your horses are like, "Hey, hello. Let me show you." And so I think that's where I'm really passionate about is I can do the horse training stuff, but I like looking at before that and diving into the like good gooey stuff like that. So that's what I do in lots of different ways.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good
Good
stuff.
stuff.
So, Heather, you want to tell us about your inspiration for this clinic?
I do. I will try to take only the approach of why I'm doing it, not I'm doing it versus another. So, meaning that it's sort of the okay, I'll start with the fact that I didn't even know, honestly, that clinics were a thing. I did not know that that's how people learned things. I thought everyone learned things like me, like one horse after another, hundreds and hundreds of horses, and then watching other good horsemen that were having a good experience. And then you're like, oh, so, okay, I want to do that. How's he doing that? And then so I thought everybody got to learn that way. I didn't know that clinics were a thing. I didn't know that taking lessons were a thing. I didn't know that pony club was a thing. I knew none of these things existed. So when I came into the embracing the idea that I may actually need to teach people, I didn't understand what was going on out there. Like I didn't understand what was happening in people's heads and what they were experiencing and the anxiety that they had around learning. And I'm like, what is going on here? It's like they were so anxious about learning. There was so much pressure on them to get it right. It was like they were experiencing performance anxiety and we were just I was just trying to help with things. And I'm like, what is happening? So I started to look at kind of the clinic construct and what that format looked like. And why I thought that it wasn't really a great one, but I didn't really know what else to do. And I'm sure other people have figured this out. I know I'm not the only one, but I don't really look at what other people are doing. So I don't know. But um, I, things that happen in a 3-day clinic when if you have a bunch of people all doing the same thing, one, nobody's individual needs are getting met. No one's individual concerns are getting dealt with. The horses are not being treated individually either. So you have one person floundering around in the abyss over there, and then two people who are walking their horse correctly, and that's where, and so I'm like, well, that doesn't look really results driven. And so why are we doing that still? And then the way people would feel about themselves when they would come out of these clinic, settings, they were either completely oblivious that they didn't learn anything and all they wanted to do is tell their friends what a good time they had. And I wasn't interested in feeding that either. Or they they really couldn't even remember what it was they learned because they were trying to take in this new information while they themselves were in like fight flight mode, like where their nervous systems were so rattled that they don't even really know what they learned. So the other thing about it to me was the short amount of time. I feel like, people were pretty satisfied if they could remember one thing. If they got one thing, they're like, well, I got one thing out of it, so that's enough. But I'm like, but is it? Because you didn't really get to embody anything. Like it never became something that you now embody where you can go home and continue a progress. And your horse didn't really get to settle into a change either that they can integrate and then move forward. So that I kept thinking, that just doesn't feel good to me to do. That doesn't feel good to me. What else is there? So I explored doing what I called intensives, where I would have people just come one on one, and they would come for like a week. Oh, that didn't work either because it was like 24/7 with them pulling and me giving because that's what I wanted, that's what I thought, until I did it for 7 straight weeks. And I'm like, I'm burnt, I'm fried for life. Now I'll never recover. But what I did realize is there was some massive lasting changes that so I'm like, okay, so I'm on to something. I just got to figure out. And then I see people really do well learning from others when they can kind of set back. Someone else is in the hot seat for a moment and they can go, oh yeah, that happens to me. Oh yeah, I get that. Oh, okay, yeah, that's, but in a more of a laid back atmosphere where it's not like shaming, but they can identify with some of the issues that everybody might be having, that they are also having. And then they can kind of start to learn and put that together in their head without them being the one that's actually in there. The other part of that was important to me, selfishly, I like to work with the horses. I like to get in their presence and be able to offer them what I know they're so desperately looking for, which is clarity. They're looking for confidence, they're looking for clarity, and they're looking for someone who isn't emotionally attached to their response. So when I can just give that to them like that fast, and they're just like, oh, fuck yes, finally I could just sit here. So I cussed already. I'm sorry. I thought I'd make it further in. But when they can just, like, when they just get to experience that like right away, and then I can immediately get into, now let's start redefining contact for you. That's the part that I want to do for them. And if I can get them in that space for a couple of sessions while the humans kind of watch and be able to take that in, I just feel like this could be a good formula, at least for me and the few people that are going to find me. And I don't want there to be a formula or a method or we are doing this or that. It can be anything. It can be absolutely anywhere and anything. And I want to look at all of it. As far as the horse human dynamic, what I can look at, from the teeth to the feet to the saddle fit to the their relationship to contact, to all of the things. I feel like the disconnect can be anywhere, the block can be anywhere. But that brings me to you guys, because I mean, I'm definitely able to recognize and touch on a couple of things with the people. I can point to a crooked and know that it's a tight hip flexor, but I don't know what to tell them to do with that except stop that. Go get someone to do something for you in that. And when I know that is their dysregulation that is holding them hostage, like their desperate need to connect to that horse really doesn't have anything to do with the horse at all. And the horse is a stand-in for other attachment disorders or their, so anyway, like those are things that I very much understand because I've had to do the work within myself, but I in no way feel qualified, ready, or even that's not even what I want to step into. Not when there's two people who are already doing it so beautifully and whom I love and want to collaborate with. I don't want to be all to all and beat all. I want us to all be able to help with our own strengths. So that's my idea for doing this. It's not going to be some world revolution by any means, but I think if I can help 5 people, like really sift through what's happening with them, sift through the information that they're receiving, what is clearly not working for them and for their horse, man, I just feel like that's worth it. That 5 people would be worth it. I don't need to save the industry. I just need to help 5 people.
I love that so much.
I love that. I feel like when I do clinics, I spend a lot of the time going, I'm identifying that that is a problem. And here, do you follow this person? Can I give you this contact? You should reach out to this person. And
Mhm.
I feel like the idea of collaborating in clinics is like my obsession. And because of that, right? Like you don't want to have to hold all of the things and be everything for everyone and try to be so knowledgeable about all of it. It's just a lot to carry. And so that's why it
Mhm.
feels really fun. Do you guys have any questions? It can be related to the clinic. It can
Or,
be related to absolutely anything happening in Horseland right now, which I know
oh
it
my,
is wild. It's a wild world out there right now.
yeah.
And I know that it's such information overload for people when you're on social media and it's not something that like existed before. I think especially when I was in a phase of like really learning stuff, I feel like social media did exist, but it didn't feel like maybe my algorithm just wasn't trained to show me what it shows me. But if I didn't know anything or if I know very little, when I looked at all of that, I would be completely overwhelmed and like, wait, what? Um, so if there's any of that happening for you, we're happy to address and chat about any of it. I know there's a lot of things circulating that I'm not going to be bringing up unless anyone else wants to talk about it, but
I
the
like Christy's apologizing. Sorry to interrupt you, Am, for her apology for, this is kind of a revolution. Sorry to tell you. Like, you.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, speaking of algorithms, because of some certain things that have been going on in horse world, I actually Googled some people because I don't know anyone. Like that's no joke. Unless I've met you face to face, I don't know who you are or what you do. So I Googled this person. Now my Facebook is full of horsemanship pages. I'm going out of my mind. I'm like, what do I have to do to get these off of my Facebook
you,
feed? Like,
you go to the top right corner and there's a little X and you hit it. Every time you see something you don't want to see, you hit the X and it goes away.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I don't know how anyone is surviving this. But I mean, I actually just ask AI how many horsemanship pages are on Facebook. And it says, I really can't count them all, but there is tens of thousands. I'm like, oh my God, you poor people. You poor, poor people. How the hell are you surviving this jungle? Anyway, I did see a question. Mm. Oh, please tell us where and how the clinics will run. And okay. Okay, so the where and how. So for now, I'm offering them here. What I would like to do is be able to set up little pockets around wherever. Like if a group somewhere said, hey, I'm in Ohio and I've got like 5 people in my little riding group, and we would love to do a 5 for 5 with you, then I will come there. I've been doing a similar thing actually with a group in LA. I see Judy's on here today. I've been going there a couple of times a year, and I think that's part of the inspiration for this. I love it. I love being able to work with people consistently, and I fire people consistently. Like I'm like, you're graduated, get out. You do not need me anymore. We've done all the work we can do together. Go fly, little bird. So that means I want to be able to bring in new little pockets as I graduate old pockets. Not that Judy's group is an old pocket. I just mean that's funny. So, oh yeah, so that's it. So for now it's here.
And
And
that's Benicia, California.
Yeah, I'm in
In case
Benicia.
you don't know where here is.
Where's here? East Bay area. So the accommodations are you can come and camp, or there's like really cute hotels, B&Bs nearby, or I have plenty of camping area here. So that's what I know for now. That's the beginning. That's the route.
Perfect. Okay. Do you price and
Um,
horses can stay there as well, right?
yes. Yep. There's pins for horses. None of that's extra. Just, yep. So right now, where I have it is at $2,000 for the 5 days. And that includes everything. That includes the work that you'll do with Amber and Katherine. Which I want them to talk a little bit about that, because it is integral to this. I can make all the changes in the world for your horse and you can see it all too. But if someone can't talk you through how, number one, to get really clear with where you are when you are entering your horse's presence, because that is 99.9% of what is happening, the headspace that the human is in. And then the lack of body awareness that people have, that keeps them stuck in patterns, can be emotional or physical. And that's Katherine's. I hate to even call it magic, because she's worked her ass off to know what she knows and to do what she does. So I hate to call it magic, because it seems like she just somebody sprinkled her with pixie dust. Brilliant. That's not what. So, and I also want to just add really quick that I want all of these journeys to continue. Like once you've done a 5 for 5 and you've been on the mat with Katherine and you've done the breath work and the meditation with Amber, I hope that you can see that this is going to be a benefit for you moving forward, that you will feel the momentum and continue with both of that. And then, I mean, sure, I want you to continue with me with your horse, but that is really important to me, that you see this as a beginning to clarity and a beginning to change, a beginning of change. Yes, spectators. Hell yeah. Sorry, that was a question. I don't have I might.
Heather's figured out the chat. I'm really excited.
We're like having growth happening over here in all the ways.
We are.
Someone asked, do we need to bring our own horse if they came to camp?
Hi, Laura. I mean, that's a good question, because I really haven't considered that. I was thinking spectators, yes, but I'm wondering if there's a way that we can. Yes, we can do this. Yes, I know you don't have to bring a horse. I think we can do this anyway, because observance is going to be a big part of this, whether you're observing me making changes with your horse or you're just observing the changes. But being able to work with the other two ladies, I still think you can do that in, you know, in this setting without your horse. Yes, I do. I think we can do that.
Um, is there cost for spectators?
I haven't thought about that yet. So
To be to be
let's,
announced.
yeah, to be continued. Think about it. It
And
depends on what
do
you
you have an
want.
idea for the schedule for the 5 days?
The roughest schedule ever, because it would be like what I really see in the beginning is the first 3 days. I would like to be exclusively with the horses, with the people, just being able to kind of sit with their meditation, kind of sit with their mat work, and just observe my communication with the horse, just observing that. At the same time, in those sessions, I'm going to be going through, you know, the gear, the, you know, the feet. I may even do trimming, you know, like a I can't give you a format other than it's going to be one pair at a time, me and the horse, or me and you and the horse, one at a time, back to back, as long as they take. I mean, if they are like 45 minutes and the horse is tapped out and fried and ready to take a nap, I'm not going to push them for another hour. We may revisit them later. So the flexibility is a must for me, because I won't put that restriction on a horse to give me, or to give or receive in a time constraint. So that's the closest I can give you to a format. The only thing that would really change those is if we have horses that are unsound to be ridden, then they, you know, we may not progress into that. If we have baby horses, which I do hope I get some, because I'm craving me some babies, where we're just preparing them to be started. I've been so excited to get to use, you know, the BTMM pillars as a developmental tool, and the new, starting them with the nervous system that's not in fight flight. What an amazing thing that can be, you know, like, so I'm wanting more babies to play with that. And then, so those may not lead to, you know, riding at the end of 5 days, which probably not gonna, but so if that gives you an idea of the schedule, maybe. There is not one. But
It's whatever it needs to
I
be.
will say the mornings, okay, I can give you a little bit better. I can do better. Mornings will be on the mat with Katherine. That is going to be the first thing we do every day, is getting in touch with our bodies, getting in touch with those places, getting in touch with our breath. The awareness that she's going to bring, that's going to be first thing. And then Amber's going to be the end of our day every day. I'm not just sure how many different ways I'm going to work her in because she's here, but we'll see. So that's the bookends of the day, and then whatever chaos I create in the middle, we'll see. But can we stop really quick, and I want to make Katherine talk about what she wants to do with the people in the morning. Make her talk.
Twist my arm. So Heather and I have, because it's our first one together, we are sort of building some leeway into the schedule. So this might change, but our plan right now is the first day I'm going to hop on a live with everybody that's there. And we're going to go through getting to know each other, getting to know some breath work, getting to step into pelvic alignment, which plays a key role in the saddle. So our anterior, posterior, and neutral tilts. And really getting to work with you guys as a group live. Then for the next days, we're going to do a pre-recorded session. And the reason for those pre-recorded sessions is you have them to take with you, and it's not going to be jumbled up with conversation and things like that. So you can use them as an exercise video at home to continue your work. And that way, if you hit a point where you go, wow, this is boring, that's a great time to reach out to me and go, hey, I was in the 5 for 5. This is hit boring. What's the next progression? One of the things that Heather brought to me was progression, that to have a good solid foundation, to have some modifications so that it's not, that this is not just whatever you're picturing. It probably won't be that. It'll probably be a little bit different, and it'll be a little bit what you're picturing. But having ways to check in with your body, to start at the breath because our cardiorespiratory system is important. Who knew? And it integrates into our musculoskeletal system, which is run by the nervous system, which means that everything that we do with our bodies a little bit somatic, which means stories come up. And so when Heather brought the physical piece and said, can you step through foundational pieces? Can we do pre-recording so they can refer to them as often as they need? Each day will be a little bit different. So it's not going to be 5 days of, and then we're on the mat and then we breathe. That said, each of the videos is going to start with an invitation that if that's where you're at, I was there for a long time, years. My invitation was to go lay on my mat, to breathe, probably cry a little bit. And then eventually I got strong enough I could do a little bit in quadrupedal. And then I got strong enough I could do it in standing. And then finally I got strong enough I could get back in the saddle. So if your 5 days is Heather, Katherine, Amber, I'm going to lay down on the mat and I'm just going to breathe. And that's great. You have the other recordings when you feel like you can do them. Or if you step into them for a moment and need to step out, they're there. And to close out, I got rambling there, but was really excited when Heather was like, and we're going to have Amber. And I was like, yes, bingo, boom, trifecta. Because the beauty of, I've seen so much cool stuff that Amber's done. And, or that rather Amber has invited and created the space where you got to do it is probably the more accurate phrasing.
Yep.
But what a major, massive change it is, because I can't address that for you on the mat when we're learning about our bodies. If I could have two of me speaking at once, that would be way too much. And
Yep.
and Amber's just has so many beautiful ways that she takes you on the journey. And I'm just very excited to be one of the bookends for all of it. Okay, there.
Beautiful. God. I just have to say, I love so much how you put in there that if 5 days on the mat and getting in touch with your breath is where you're at, that's where we'll be. And that is so perfect, because when I met you, I didn't even know, my diaphragm did not move. That was one of the first things you said is, bitch, how long has it been since you breathed? I'm like, I don't know, 3 years old. So, that's how long it took me on the mat to find my breath. And you just were so gentle about letting me stay there as long as it took. But because the thing is, once you do find your breath and your body starts releasing the traumas, things start to come up, things start to come out. It does happen so fast that it didn't matter if you spent 30 days just breathing. Once your body can breathe, things start to happen so fast. Like the unraveling and the evolving and the changing happens so fast. So thank you for putting that in there. That felt really good.
And it is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful things that humans can do. And getting to be part of that or witness that is, you're all just so cool. Like anyone that takes a moment in any moment to catch a breath and go, hang on, I need to be with myself for a moment before I go interact with this thing. It is the coolest thing that humans can.
Yes. And yes, well, there will be a lot of tissues, Robin.
Okay.
Whoever
Great.
Robin is, there will be tissues. Yes.
Robin, also a crying sister, because that's me.
Yeah. Every time I'm in a session with someone and I'm, for the first time, and there's so many tears and they apologize. Like that's the first thing every woman does is, I'm so sorry, I'm crying. I'm like, oh, well, first of all, please don't apologize. And just so you know, everyone does. I don't think I've done a lesson in 6 years that the first one, they didn't cry. And that is not a weakness. It just shows how emotional our paralleling journey with our horses is very emotionally charged. And it usually isn't from the horses at all, but it's very interesting how they all apologize for the tears. And I'm like, nah, they're normal. Just bring them. We've all done them. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my when we kind of co-created the elements of connection. And I remember Shaylee when I had first, I think it was like, I think that might have been the first time we actually met in person. And she was like, well, I'm not a crier. So I was like, it is my personal like goal to make sure everybody, and I will crack you. And she's like, bet. And then, so the first meditation we did, I looked over and I was like, yes. She's like, God damn you. She's like, the moment, I was like, I know, like, it's such a beautiful thing to be able to just like cry unapologetically and have emotions, like energy in motion and unlock everything that's been stuck up in there is like my favorite thing to do, honestly. I love making people cry.
Let's just turn them over by the feet and dump it all out.
I remember the very first retreat I did with my friend Jen and then Robin Schiller actually. And it was so funny because we did like a practice one and this was back in 2018 or 19. And when people started to cry, we were so ill-equipped. We were like, "Oh, hand water. Water makes you stop crying." Like we actually like actively tried to help people stop crying. Like that's how early on we were in like our own journeys. Now I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a minute. It's so funny to think back to that. Um, while you
yeah.
guys,
My joke is always, "There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in Cowboys. There's no crying." But it is a joke because that's wrong.
yeah, I think that as you guys are talking, what I would like to gift people with to set them up to come to the clinic is doing a session with them first to like get an idea of like where they're actually at and how they actually feel and maybe the stories that they have pre-existing and try to shed a little light on those and how they might be affecting the way that them and their horses are going. So that when you show up, you kind of have an idea floating around in your mind and your experience where you're like, oh, okay, now I can see that happening. And then watching Heather work the horses and go, oh, I can now identify where my story might be conflicting with what's actually happening here and you have something set up to where you're not just all of a sudden like blindsided with what is this? It's like, oh, I can see now. I am because I am so close. We'll definitely want to be there, like, live in person, at least for several of the days, depending on childcare. But that is
Yay.
my plan to be there live because I want to be there too. And it's so close to me. So I think that where I would like to support during the time that Heather is working the horses is also helping people unravel their stuff as it comes up in the watching and witnessing of your horse being worked and like what might be showing up for you in those moments because so much stuff comes up. And so fun for me to be able to like not actually have to work the horse and talk about it at the same time where I just get to like be in there having those conversations with people as they come to the surface and that feels really fun to me to be able to be like in it and having that part. And then of course wrapping up the day with, the meditations, the journeys, and then post this, sending people on their way with something they can take with them. Um, I think at the end of it, where are you now and where are you headed and giving a customized journey for like to get you in the momentum to continue beyond the clinic would be fun for me to do too. We didn't talk about any of that, but I feel like that's what came up for me as you guys were talking. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Well, I'm getting more and more comfortable with you reading my mind without being invited. So it's like now I now know that you're just gonna read it when it's time to tell me that now that this is what it is. Like the way that you decided we should do this, I was literally just going, what do I have to do to show the world where my heart is in this? And to find those five people, what do I have to do? And then I get a message from Amber that day. So here's what we're gonna do. And I'm like, see, you did that. You just did that thing where you read my mind.
I was like, people need to hear you talk about this, and I love that the mistake live was so perfect. Oh,
Oh
it was
my God.
so good. I was like, that's exactly what needed to happen. I was like, get your ass on, push that button and just start talking. No one cares what you're gonna say. They're gonna be so excited to hear you talk and see your face just randomly in their newsfeed that it's not gonna matter.
And it didn't matter just because of the personal growth that I experienced. That was it for me. Like that's that's why it happened. And I so appreciated the push to push.
Uh, they a comment. I'm just so tired of asking for help from the old schoolers. Just want to put a band-aid on it rather than taking it back to why they are not responding. I've always felt it so much deeper than that. Like
It
that's
is.
the cool part is like I think that we all do things a little different, but we're all deeply aligned in how we do it with our own touch. And so I feel like
Mhm.
that's what makes it fun. I think we're all trying to figure out like why is this happening? Like what is this about? Why is the horse saying this? Why are you saying this? Why is your body saying this? It's like that's like the best part. It's like that's what makes all of this work so sustainable. It's not like here's this exercise, do it until your horse does what you want. And it's like that's just
Yes.
not the way it's gonna happen ever.
No. And there's no coercion methods happening. So that's another thing I think that makes it easier for the human to grasp it, and no, for the horse to grasp it, and then the human to replicate it, because there isn't any.
Yeah, and I also think that the process of getting on the mat and then feeling the feelings and then going, oh, this is the story. This is why I'm feeling those feelings. And then being able to be in a container where it's safe for you to have all of that and go, oh shit, the other people are feeling that. I'm not the only one feeling that. And it's also like completely normal and safe to feel that way. When you do that for yourself, it gives you the ability to do it for your horse
Yeah.
and literally everyone else in your life, other humans and stuff, which whatever. That's the byproduct of this. But I'm just like obsessed with relationship in general, like people, horses, other things. And so the relationship with yourself is literally where everything is born from. So when you invest in something like this for yourself, and then you get to experience it of holding space for yourself and then you feel what it feels like to feel all those vulnerable feelings. You go, oh shit, this is my horse's experience and now I can be so much more patient and so much more understanding and hold so much more space and take the time to let them, oh my gosh, sorry, this little bird with this brightest yellow entire everything, I don't even know what it is, just landed on my windowsill. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry about that. That's like the best part is like knowing that you get to take this experience with you and everyone around you, horses, humans, animals of all, they're gonna feel that radiating off you. And just you being in that space can be so healing for people. It's just so wild how simple it can be when you're doing that for yourself.
what's also cool is sometimes it's just a recognition is all it takes. Like I've seen, well, she's on here, so I'm going to use her as an example. And it just happened the other morning that I did a virtual with a young lady and her most beautiful, perfect little Arab that's ever walked. And, she just, the reason she wanted to do it, she said, I'm having trouble, getting him in pillar one. And so I already know what the problem is, and it's because someone's trying to do pillar one, and it's not something you can do, it's something that you have to allow. So I already knew the issue, but as she turned and faced the camera and left him alone behind her, and we talked about her attachment to him doing it, like why we're so emotionally attached to them doing it or getting it. He is behind her, licking and chewing and blinking, and in the deepest pillar one, I mean, he was just all in it. And I'm like, now turn around and look what you did. um, by not doing anything at all, but just recognizing that place in herself. And in her recognition, she automatically released it. She automatically was like, oh, huh, I don't need that. I don't need to be that. I don't need to feel that. I don't need that anxious attachment to him. And she just beautifully let it all go, turn it around. And I'm like, okay, now we're done. 5 minutes. No, I'm kidding. So that those kind of affirmations that it is the human consciousness that needs the healing. Is this clinic for women only? No, Lacey, it's not.
We
Oh, I
have,
just realized there's other questions coming. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I'm keeping track.
Okay, I just said blah blah blah.
No, it's fine. That's why there's all of us. Dates.
Okay, so I was going to do one in March and another one in June. I really don't think the March one is probably going to happen. I'm really concerned about the weather pattern. Like I was so excited to find 2 5-day holes that I could stick it in that I did that. But I'm really concerned March is going to be too funky weather wise. I mean, I'm willing to take a few people if they want to sign up for March and we are tentative, but I hate rescheduling. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves is canceling and rescheduling. So the one that is definitely a go is the one in June. And I believe that is the 11th or the 10th through the 14th, I think.
Have it written on my calendar.
Yeah, I can't see my calendar from here because I don't have my glasses
10th?
on.
Yes, 10th through the 14th.
So that's the one that I have set for right now. So I don't have another one. I may come up with some new dates, but and we might be thinking about one in a couple of different locations. But right now that's what I have set for here.
All right, and there's another question. It says, would these be a good opportunity for Heather to see if our horse is ready to go into two rein? I missed the first 10 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah. Because that's the other part of this that we didn't talk about is I if somebody is wanting the bridal horse journey, we can do that in the 5 days as well. Because it's not going to be just about that, even that may be what you think it's about. For a horse's body to be ready to go into the two rein, their body must be ready. If their body isn't ready, it's most likely because your body isn't ready. Because the whole idea of going into a spade has everything to do with how you have prepared their body to carry one. So it is a very big deal, which means your body and your nervous system are going to be integral in moving your horse into the two rein. So we can absolutely make your 5 days about the bridle horse system because I'm still not going to leave any of the stones unturned. Who asked that anyways?
It was Christina
Oh,
Weinmiller.
yeah, Wine Miller. Oh, cool. Yes. Yes.
We have another horses are such a reflection of us. My horse has mimicked my physical pain, and that's how connected he is. Yes, that is a thing for sure. How can we connect personally to ask some additional questions? I will say you got if you have someone specific that you have a question for and you don't necessarily want to ask it on here, then you guys can message us, I guess, on Facebook or however you guys want. Facebook
Yeah.
Messenger is probably easiest for me currently. I don't know if that's easiest for you guys, if there's one-on-one questions that want to be asked. Um,
Yeah, that's fine with me.
yeah, Kimball asked, would it
Oh,
be
yes, Kimball. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. You and Harley.
It says, I don't know what we were talking about. It actually felt like fairy dust magical. Sorry, Heather, it was wild. I don't know what we were
That
talking
was the
about.
session from the other
Oh,
day.
got it. Got it, got it, got it. Okay, now we're caught up. Is this clinic for women only? Got it. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not for women only. It's I don't often have men. I do have some that have been around for a while, but it's just not as common. But absolutely, they're welcome. They don't cry as much.
I've only how many? I've only had three men in all of my time doing a clinic, and I got them all to cry.
What? Oh my goodness.
They
Well,
don't
mine are
cry the
more
same, but their eyes get watery. And
yeah, yeah, they're like it must
their
be.
eyes get watery and then they get like soft. And it's so fucking fun. It's actually more fun than getting the women, but um they don't sob, but there's eye water happens.
That's awesome.
Oh, so good. Let's see. If spectating is camping available. So if
Sure.
they're spectating, can they camp?
Yes. I've
And
got
spectating all day?
yes.
Okay.
And
Um,
the only exception would be to that is if someone specifically preferred um, private. That would be the only exclusion,
oh,
and then you would just, perhaps have to take a walk or something. But
Right. Okay. So if someone said I wanted to do one-on-one with you and it must be private,
Must
then
be
we will
exclusive. Yes.
customize that for you. How does one sign up? What cancellation policy and money's due at the time of sign up?
Yes. So the way to sign up would be to just, you can go to my website and there is a link there to sign up. And it will give you instructions on deposits and the return policy. So I could drop a link.
Well, what I'll do is when the replay of this goes out, you guys will all get an email and I'll get all the details and it'll be in that email and also the link too will be there. So
Well, that's why we have professionals. That's amazing.
keep it simple, keep it simple.
Awesome. Should we make them ask questions now?
If you guys do have any more questions, I mean, we feel like we covered quite a bit. I feel
Yeah,
like
we
it's
did.
just exciting to be able to have a container where as you go through and as you progress, you're like, anytime I've ever done a co-creation with people, and we've done several like bigger ones, smaller ones, like we've done a lot of them. Catherine's done them, the elements of connection with me. I will tell you that you create friendships, family for the rest of your life. When you just go through an experience like this with people and you have like in real life collaboration like that and you've watched people on their journeys and you support them and then you know so much about them in that amount of time. I mean, we have people that we have done these with something, not the same but similar, where they then are creating businesses together and they're now co-creating their own stuff together. So just knowing, oh, it's just five people, but that trickle effect and the seeds that get planted turn into so much more than just the people that are like
What I'm hoping.
connected. So that's actually, I feel like the part where it just happens so organically, and that's where the potency comes in, where it's like it's intimate and it's five, but what you get created in the family that you get after is it's that's the really impactful part, I think. Plus, it's cool to be able to do something like this with your own horse. I think the first time I ever went to like a clinic, and it wasn't, it was a cow horse clinic, so it wasn't necessarily like this at all. But to be able to spend a good chunk of time with just you and your horse, having this experience together also is something that, it's not just like 1 or 2 days where it's like this concentrated amount of time where it's just you, your horse, and this adventure you're on is just like, it does something for your relationship with your horse as well.
Mhm. There, Robin just asked a question. Could she unmute herself and just
Yeah, I'm
ask her question? Expand on what she's wanting to know there.
my problem that I'm having currently is at the bottom of my freaking Zoom screen is hidden by this thing, and I'm trying to. Let me see if I can change it. I can't get to the little thing that says, "Oh, but you guys might be able
I
to."
did it.
Okay, I think,
Oh,
The
did that allow
rookies.
me through?
good
Yeah.
job, Heather.
Woot woot.
Hi there.
Okay, Rob, I can hear you.
Hi. I was just asking that basically from what I'm getting through with this is you're helping us to work through that years of emotional baggage that we've taken through our horses and literally let that all go to figure out how to move forward in a better path and journey without taking that along, is what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. Yep. I mean, there is probably some very most horses are dealing with more than one thing. I mean, most of them are dealing with bad feet, bad saddle fit. Like there is some actual physical things that a lot of them are dealing with. Postural compensation that's really got them stuck and unable to find comfortable in their body. So I don't want to say that we're just going to like turn this big bright light on the person and be like, oh, but because there is some real physical things that might be blocking our journey, or there's nothing and somebody is just coming to kind of level up, to kind of hone in a particular skill. But there is most likely going to be some emotional barriers, because women tend to be seeking relationship from their horse more than anything. So it's like you get one of two people. You get ones that are like all about relationship and all about the emotional parts of their interaction with their horse. And then you get other people that are just like, well, I just want to get on them and make them spin. So those, those people, I have to crack them open a little bit and be like, okay, but wait a minute, there's others. And then the ones that are all about emotion, sometimes I'm like, yeah, but your horse isn't all about emotion. So what do we need to do with, what do we need to, how can we help you process yours so that you don't make them responsible for it, if that makes sense?
Yeah, if I can ask, that's been, I'll just quickly,
Yes.
major health challenges. So that's what came into my world as I started this guy all those years ago. Consistency isn't just not a thing for me anymore, just because it's an up and down battle every day with my health stuff. So it's a
Yeah.
passion. My horses aren't going anywhere, but I've learned a lot through this process. My first guy that I've kind of come through and the holes that I've put in him, but my imbalances is huge, like you mentioned, with my health and things that I can't necessarily control
Yeah.
that you would normally be able to breathe through or do through that medication plays and some of those things. So I'm intrigued by what you're putting out there and offering, because it would be very interesting to me on a level to see how that can kind of how you can work through those barriers that may not be so controllable.
Yep. I love it. Love it. Perfect.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Mhm.
Do you see the other ones? I have a yearling. Is there any pre-work I should understand before starting with you in the 5 for 5? What is pillar 1?
Pillar 1 in 5 seconds or less. Anybody else want to try to do that one quickly? uh, um, I don't think there is no prerequisites for the 5 for 5. It is definitely as a come as you are. If you do not know what pillar 1 is, then that's what would, something that's going to come up, because the pillars are pivotal for all the work that I do. It doesn't matter if it's bridle horse work or emotional regulation for the horse or the human. It's just there. It's just always going to be there. So learning what those are may be what your 5 for 5 is, even if we are doing it with a baby horse. Not that you're going to be bringing yours to me, but we can also do some virtual lessons with you, Laura. I think we talked about that before. Because pillar 1 is big and deep and wide, and it's beautiful, and it's not quick. It's not a quick explanation, because there is a physical place that pillar 1 is, but it's more than that, because it's an allowance for a nervous system reset, and it's also a place where babies, if they can find that earlier in their life, once they're in our presence, then we're going to be able to keep them regulated while they're going through the ups and downs of the training process. So it's a really important part for babies, but it's not like it's a prerequisite pre 5 for 5. It is one of the things we would do at a 5 for 5, if that makes sense.
I think that's cool because it's like when you do show up, you literally, because of the way that the clinic is set up, you can come and it can be whatever you need. It's not like the whole group is doing the same thing. And I think that's the
Everyone
cool
will
part
be
about
something
it.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be cool also for the
I know.
people that have like a completely opposite horse. Like you get to witness something that is something that you don't even see because your horse is so polar opposite. So I think that that's also a cool thing about this.
Yeah. I see someone asking about how to learn about the pillars. Can you also put, when you send that email, a link to Celeste's page
Mhm.
and Catherine's human pillar?
Yeah, I'll put all of everybody's stuff in there. So if you weren't on here before, I'm gonna after I send this replay out, I will also send all of the dates, the links for everything, and all of the stuff we've talked about.
And if I do get people that want to sign up for March, we can try it, because I do have the space for it. I'm just concerned about the weather.
Yeah, it's been a weird winter here.
Yep,
It
I'll
was
try.
like 70 degrees 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I was sweating. And I was like, it's getting dusty. The grass is dying. And all of a sudden it was like, and it's winter forever.
I'm freezing. Yeah.
All right, you guys have any more questions? Also, if you guys do think of questions later, or if you're watching the replay, you guys can feel free to reach out to any of us, depending on what your question is, and we will follow up with that. And also, do you guys have, Catherine, Heather, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
I think the cool thread that keeps coming up is why I'm so excited, Heather, is organizing it this way and collaborating, is going back to these foundation dysfunctionally functional pieces that we have, and we're carrying through life, and we're all doing something. We're not just existing in this vacuum. We have jobs, we have health issues, we have multiple horses, we have winter, we so much. And how to go back to the foundational pieces, talk to them, and then instead of going, ta-da, here's your foundation, which I see at so many horsemanship clinics now, especially, which is great because holy cow, do we need to go back to foundations as an industry? And not just leaving it at that, but saying, and here's how we progress back to where you thought you were without all that crap that we just set down on the ground.
Yes. Yep.
Get you all plungered out.
One thing I would like to just add, futuristically, if people only need the 5 for 5 once, that's amazing. And if you need some continued support, that's awesome. But I wouldn't mind people making it a yearly thing for a while. There's no boundaries on our journeys, and there's no end to a leveling up that we can all do, no matter what our level is. So I would love to see people, intimately through this journey as far as we can all take them. I think that's another thing that's missing, is as a oh boy, this is tricky. Okay, how do I say that? Because I've also seen people stay with the one trainer that's abusing them and brutalizing them for year after year after year and not stepping away. But then I see the other side of that where I'm going to coin the phrase. I'm just going to say it loudly now because I've said it to my people, of clinic whoring, where we are sleeping with a different method every week. And what the fuck am I doing? Like last week you said they said my bit should hang really low in my mouth and I'm supposed to suck my tongue in. And now this week they're saying suck that bit up in there. And then next week it's like bitless is the only way or you're cruel. It's like, oh my God. So like there's so much and there's so many, week to week to week, people doing something different that I think their heads are spinning and their horse heads are spinning. I would love to see people grab something that is working for you and your horse. The key word is working, and the other key to that is recognizing it's working. So using the critical thinking to say, I'm not in fight flight mode and my horse is actually chilling out, not biting me, and I'm riding and having a good time. That's a pretty good metric for are you progressing? So I would love to see people stick with something that is working and help them recognize whether or not it is. I guess we could start there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And on that, I'm going to piggyback on that for a moment, that I have watched both Amber and Heather be challenged by people who have said, I don't do that because XYZ. And both of them just go, okay. Like, I've never seen them push back. If you have something that is working for you, cool, great, yay, that's what we want. Like, so
Yes. Yes.
I
I
think
struggle with that at times.
yeah, I feel like I have actually had that conversation several times in the last like 2 weeks where there's so much information out there, and then when you bounce from thing to thing because you want all the things, it becomes so overwhelming and confusing that then you don't know what's what anymore. And I feel like the cool thing about Horseland is there are so many different ways to do one thing and
Yes.
accomplish it. And I think that yeah, if it's working for you, we can build stuff out around that thing. If, and
Mhm.
so you don't have to throw away everything you've already been doing. No one's going to come in and go, that's completely wrong. Like, that's
Well,
not
I
how
might.
we do it. That's not my way, unless it's like, actually, let me show you
Not
why.
working.
Yeah,
Yes,
and let me show you why this actually isn't working and you think it is.
yes,
And there's
Yes.
going to be reasons behind it, right? So
yes.
I think that it's not just this very rigid, this is the way it needs to be.
So,
It's like you can be open. And then if it's not working, you're going to understand why it's not working. So moving forward, if you are exploring other, clinicians and trainers and you're whoring around, you can then use discernment about, oh, this is what's working. I can take this from
yeah,
this trainer in this clinic and I can apply it, but I can throw the rest away because I know why
yes,
it's not working. So you're going to have a
exactly.
deeper understanding of that type of stuff so that when you go out into the world and are overwhelmed with information, you'll at least have some base level of like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why that wouldn't work or why it would. So I think that's,
Yes, exactly. That's so good. So important.
yeah,
Love it.
cool. Look at us. We wrapped up in almost an hour. That's great. Oh, there's one more. I'm bummed that I misunderstood where you are. So, oh, someone thought you were in Ohio.
Oh, I could be if there's enough of you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, thank you guys for all coming and joining us in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day. So honored to have you guys want to share the space with us. And like I said,
Yeah.
I'll send the replay out and we'll have all of the information, everything that we talked about in case you missed any part of it. And then all the links for the resources for you guys to look at and understand. Yay. It was fun, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys
Coming.
later.
Bye.
Bye.